5:30, Wednesday, July 22nd, City of Hawarden regular city council meeting. Standard agenda items, we'll start off with those. We need approval of July 8th, 2026 regular city meeting minutes. Motion was made by Trevor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Christie. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of July 2022, motion carried. Approval of July 2022, 2026 claims for payment.
Make a motion to approve claims for payment.
Motion's been made by Ben. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Trevor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Open business from the community.
Karen Reed. And I'm back again. We still have yucky grass with dead grass underneath. There used to be a saying in this town, the Watermans and the Creeping Jenny is taking over Hawarden. True story. In this case, it's the striped gophers are taking over Grace Hill. Tree trunks are pushing up headstones. I found more broken monuments, hundreds of stones pushed off their foundation. I got to tell you about a guy I spoke to out there who he said I could tell his story, but not his name. He's in his late 80s. He's diligently attempting to fix his mother's gravesite. First, all the grass he had growing was killed with the winter kill/spray. He has worked every day on this, trying desperately to get the grass to grow. He hasn't had any luck. I said, call the city. He laughed at me and said, why? Nothing will change. I have nothing but disrespect for those people down there. The east section of the cemetery, which is section 4, if you're familiar, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Accordingly, the grave locator is broke. All that's left is the legs, a little piece of plastic. Sign's been gone for a year. That's what marks all the graves, and I don't know the who, what, when, or why of this. Not sure anybody can even tell me. So now I'm finally understanding why people stop me after going sign to sign out there looking for their loved ones. Dykstra 2019, Holloman 2022, Smith 2019. Fortunately, I knew where they were buried and could correct them. Last Sunday, after we were gone for the weekend, I was once again out cleaning the stones in my family's area. A couple stopped. They had been to every sign. In this very, very small world, they were looking for my mom's, who died in 2024. Last Friday, while David and I were gone to our grandkids, I got a call from some old friends of Glenn's. They're passing through, thought they'd stop at the cemetery, see his stone. They looked and looked and looked at every sign, attempting to find it. From 200 miles away, I directed them to my husband's grave, who's been gone for 5.5 years. Along with the unkept sign for grave location, it's also impossible to look on the city's website. That also has not been updated in 8 years. And Section 11, which I understand we now have, isn't even shown anywhere. Going to take you on a current adventure that I just had. I took an 8-year-old along to the cemetery. I walked there every day. She went with me. She wanted to know if we could spend the night together at the cemetery, as she has been told there's ghosts. I said, probably not this week. She marveled at this Civil War monument, wanting to know if they were the only veterans that were there. And a note on that monument, many years ago, a tree branch took off the granite ball, never to be seen again or replaced. Anyway, I took her over and I showed her my aunt and uncle's military markers. They have flat markers, tells their birthday, et cetera, both veterans. And each one has the 4-inch veterans marker and the American flag, because I do it. As we walked, she noticed one of those markers bent over and the flag touching the ground. Her attempt to straighten them was not an easy feat. A lawnmower hit them and bent them. Not likely her little hands could do much with that. She asked why the grass was brown. She picked up a piece and said yuck in an 8-year-old tone. The ground under that was covered with white grubs, and it does stink out there. And I caught that as she stood there plugging her nose. She picked up a broken branch off a stone. She again questioned me why it was there. Then she looked up into the tree and said, "Oh, no wonder, the tree is dead." She stopped at a grass-covered stone. She said, "Do you know this person?" I looked. She said, "I'll tell you who it is if it's not in cursive after I take all the yucky grass off of it." I was thanked for seeing a problem, stepping up and addressing it and notifying the council of the issue. And that ended with, "The city will do better." Still waiting, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
David Reed, and I'm going to bring just a quick little thing up here. One thing we've got in this town that I've seen since I've been here is an abundance of trees that have been cut down, and all the tree stumps are still sitting there. They haven't been taken out, removed, not even attempted. We can't have them sitting around when we're talking about beautifying our city and finding them still sitting there. The cemetery is another issue altogether with those, because there are so many out there, large ones that are still there, large trees that are dead that need to be removed before they fall on something. So with that, I would ask this question, and you can figure it out yourselves. Why don't the city have a tree stump grinder that fits on their skid steer loader? There is no reason for that. The amount of money that it would cost would more than pay for itself to help beautify this city. This city can be a great place to live. I've enjoyed every minute of it since I've moved here. But it isn't often that people get the opportunity to try and make a difference, as we have been trying to do, and as the city council has tried to do. But we need to find a way to make it work, and not just give us little words that say, "Oh yes, we're trying." Well, we don't know what to do. Well, then we need to find somebody that can and figure it out. You know, you guys have the opportunity to work together and get this done. Get these things cleaned up so that we don't have the problems that we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Darcy Grothy. I just want to bring up the cemetery situation again. I go out to the cemetery and I see my mom and dad's stone covered with grass, dirt, whatever. I don't have a problem to go out there and clean that off, but to me it's almost like a disrespect from the city. I mean, I think there's something that can be done so I don't have to go out there and make sure that it's clean, because I want it to be clean, because like I said, I feel like it's disrespectful to my mom and dad to not have that cleaned off and looking nice. And I had a flag post out there. Every time I would stop out there probably twice a week, sometimes maybe just once a week. Every time that flag thing's pulled up out of the ground. And I have a stake in it that's that long. So I don't think a mower, I mean, maybe a mower is hitting it, but I don't think a mower is knocking that out or pulling it out of the ground. So I'm not sure if the people that are mowing are taking it up to mow, and that's okay, but in the same sense, they probably could put it back. That's another respect thing for me. So, if you guys can just work together and see if we can get it looking nicer out there, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. All right, we'll move on. There is no mayor's report tonight, so we'll go into staff reports.
The city has been working with Dorsey and Whitney to put together a new urban renewal plan to capture some economic growth revenue to help pay for some upcoming infrastructure projects, including the road resurfacing that we've been talking about and expanding our utilities to the newly developing areas that are going out. More items will be coming to you guys shortly to get this process moving. The goal is to hopefully have the plan in place before December 31st in order to capitalize on some things that are going to be changing. The city has also been working on replacing our equipment for the new fiscal year in our capital equipment plans. We're looking at ordering a new city vehicle as well that's used with all the departments that has stayed here for between like the fire department, ambulance, anybody that needs to go to training. We've started getting quotes for that. They're coming in a little bit better than anticipated. We are also looking at fixing some of our blinds in the front office area that are not functioning anymore. And all of that's going to be coming out of the capital equipment fund. So that's all I got for mine.
All right. Travis?
The property acquisition's moving along. There's a resolution later on the agenda. The state is looking over RFPs for legal services, asbestos testing, and demolition services. Once those are good to go, we'll get them posted, and then with an approval, 3 to 4 week window, have those returned. A lot of construction going on, DeRocher Brother condos, CFE Lumberyard, Maple Crest Apartments. So the departments have been working to get utilities to those projects. Rivers Edge Bank is coming along really nice. I think all the utility work has been completed for them. Youth soccer begins July 27th. The lines have been painted. That's ready to go. We've got 63 kids signed up so far with about 20 in each group. We did find an electric pickup, Carl Chevrolet, and a utility box from Steffen Truck Equipment. We're planning on keeping that pickup for summer help and telecom to pull trailers, and that'll enable us to get rid of a 97 half-ton that we'd keep around for extra pickup. Tomorrow morning, crews will be sweeping downtown and finish the mist line painting before the block party.
Misty? No report. Jenny? Chief?
Yeah, I just want to give say thanks to Tara Ramos and People's Bank for the opportunity to join in on their fraud presentation last night. It was well attended and there was lots of good information shared. Also, just we're going to be having a street closure on Central tomorrow for the One Crazy Night block party, and so we're going to be providing notice to some of the tenants that live downstairs, probably in the early morning hours, just letting them know that parking will not be available during that time.
Thank you. Carol?
I did have the opportunity to attend the International Economic Development Council meeting, which was held in Rapid City. It was really a tremendous opportunity to learn and get some great ideas moving forward. Hearing the concerns of our citizens, it just kind of fuels that fire to work towards some of the grant opportunities. One of them that we are working on is in the cemetery to be able to find graves via the internet. You scan a little barcode or whatever and move forward. So that's a project that we're working on. Travis' department came up with that. In the council, the whole theme of that was find your why. Why are you helping your community? Why are you working so hard? Why are you trying to get housing trust fund grants? Why are you trying to get tree grants? Why are you trying to get cemetery marking grants? So I think that's a big push for this year. It's part of the strategic plan that I'm working on. So again, in mind of what everyone is concerned about, we are moving forward as fast as I can on those projects. We will be having the annual partner meeting July 31st for Northwest Iowa developers. Again, invite anyone to attend. That's a great event. And please try to get out tomorrow night for our Crazy Days celebration, the stores. I did have the opportunity to go into some of the shops today. They have some really great deals going on. Should be a great opportunity to pick up some good things. And that's about it.
Thank you. Move on to other agenda items, and we'll start with number 3, conduct a hearing on a dog incident with possible action.
So on July 19th, 2026 at 12:15 p.m., an officer with the Hawarden Police Department was dispatched to the 1700 block of Avenue F for the report of a mail carrier that was bitten by a dog. Through investigation, we learned the mail carrier had pulled up just north of the Burt driveway and was near the curb on the east side of the street. At that time, Mindy Burt had one of her dogs on a leash, which she was holding, while the other dog, Charlie, a chocolate lab, was running around the yard carrying a ball in its mouth. Mindy had been throwing the ball to Charlie and was telling Charlie to drop it, but he did not. As the mail truck pulled up, Charlie started running toward the mail truck. Mindy Burt yelled at Charlie to get back over by her, but Charlie did not respond. As the carrier stepped out of the vehicle, Charlie bit the carrier on the upper left calf and thigh. Charlie still had the ball in its mouth when he bit the mail carrier. The carrier was able to retreat back into the mail truck, and Charlie ran back behind Mindy as she approached the mail truck. The injuries to the mail carrier were described as a puncture-type wound. Bert's dog is currently impounded until further determination of the council. The dog is up to date on its shots and vets at Akron Veterinary Clinic. Earlier today, I received a letter from the Bert's veterinarian, which indicates Charlie has been a patient of his since Charlie was a puppy. The letter indicates that Charlie has boarded at the Akron Vet facility on several occasions and that he has always been very pleasant to work with and has shown absolutely no aggression towards any other handlers or any other dogs in the facility, nor has he shown any aggression towards the vet or his staff.
Thank you. You want to come up and speak?
Sorry if I get a little emotional. Charlie is a big teddy bear. He was chomping on his ball, and I think that's what happened, because he went to approach the mailman with his tail wagging, showed no signs of aggression whatsoever. And as soon as he bit him, the mailman jumped, and it kind of scared him, so he backed off quickly. The Akron Vet doesn't regularly board animals that are dog bites because of the risk of them biting somebody else or another dog in their care, and they made an exception because he's been so well behaved for us and for them every time that we've been there. It was an unfortunate accident. I took care of the mailman, made sure his needs were met and that his wounds were taken care of while he was still at my house. Charlie is well loved by both us and his puppy brothers and sisters, and we would be devastated if we had to get rid of him. Thank you.
I wanted to add that Charlie is my neighbor as well, and I've interacted with Charlie multiple times, and he's always been the happiest dog I've ever met. So,
Thank you.
I guess we can discuss it a little bit. Are there steps being taken to make sure that doesn't happen again?
We'll keep him confined to the fence. The reason that we went in the bigger lot is because he likes to race with his brother to chase the ball, and it's a longer area than, do you want me to come back up there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we own basically the block part, from one alley to the street and then the back alley to the front of the street. So if I toss the ball from the driveway, they can run farther and then race back to get the ball again. So we do have a fenced-in backyard, and we'll just keep him confined to that. We also have training collars that we don't normally use because he's never done anything like this before, so we've already discussed having that on him anytime he goes outside. And then if he's gonna be out in the front area, we'll make sure that he's leashed on top of the training collar and everything else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to propose what we've done in the past. You know, with all the information that you've provided and the comments, I feel like you mentioned, it's an isolated incident. So I would recommend that everything that you've mentioned, please, you know, continue to do that for us, okay? And also, the probation period, like we've done in the past with other incidents, if you guys.
60 days.
60 days. Going forward, once he's back at your location, we'll start that 60 days, okay? Yep, that's my recommendation. I don't know if you guys have any more to add or any other thoughts on this.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
I guess the thing that concerns me is that this is the second meeting in a row that we've had an incident in town of some sort of injury to person. And I don't know if it's a trend that we're seeing or not. I hope it's not a trend. But if it becomes, if we start noticing that it's a trend, I don't know what our next steps would be. It is an ordinance, we can assess fines, things like that. You know, maybe we set a date that after a certain date, we're gonna start fining people that have damage to property or person. You know, those are steps we could take. I'm not saying that we need to do that now, but if this is a trend that we see happening, we have to get it nipped in the bud before something really bad happens.
I think just, it might be good to have a little bit of background. When was this ordinance changed?
The vicious one?
Yeah, the dog bite, because it used to not be that they all had to come before council, and it was changed.
Yeah, it's probably
So,
about 3 or 4
3 or
years.
4 years, it was
3 or 4 years
changed to where now every single bite has to, where I'm gonna guess in the past, there probably were some that maybe did not come before council. We implemented the new ordinance that automatically upon a bite, they have to be removed from city because of a very severe incident.
Right.
In which they weren't automatically removed. So just a little background for you guys as well to know why the process has maybe changed.
That is correct.
Yeah,
That is
okay.
correct.
That is
Yep.
correct.
So there might have been lots before and we just didn't maybe know,
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't have to have a hearing.
Okay.
All right. Do we need a motion on that?
Yes. I would say if you were going to motion to enact a 60-day probationary period and, yeah.
All right, can we get a motion on that?
I'll motion.
Motion was made by Christie.
I'll second.
Seconded by Ben. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Printer contract.
What is the motion specifically? 60-day probation?
Allow it to return with a
Allow the
60-day
dog to
probation.
return with 60 days of probation.
And then was there something else that was added?
With the conditions of what she presented that they're going to do to make sure it's a safe environment,
Stay in the, they
Yes,
won't play
at-
outside
The fenced-in
in
the
that
fenced-in area,
unfenced-in area.
the collar, that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
Sorry. All right, we'll move on to 4, printing contract, vendor selection.
Okay, so for this guy, we have, our printer contract is up. We had 2 quotes to do this. Century Business is our current contract that we have. In Access Systems would be a new bid that came in. Both groups worked with me to come up with the best comparable contract. I got similar printer capabilities with the same kind of finishing tray. Obviously, they have different pricing strategies, so for like the one includes a little bit of printing on Access Systems. Century Business is per print and has different color schemes, but the big things to look at here is I broke it down as annual costs and how much it would cost. Access Systems has built into their contract that they can increase 5% on their services per year, not over the total cost. So I did include the total annual amount as if they did and did not do a 5% increase. The other major difference that is not on here is that Century Business, their contract is actually for 63 months total instead of 60, so it is just over 5 years. But it looks like the prices are fairly similar depending on that, so really no one is better than the other in my opinion for this. So we just need to select which one to go with. We can keep the one that we have currently, or we can try a different one and potentially save a little bit of money.
Are you getting good service with the one you have now?
Yeah, we get good service. We don't actually really need a whole lot of service with the printer that we have right now, and I've not had any issues with them. So.
And did you, by chance, get input from the office staff too, since they probably utilize it the most?
Yes, actually, when I was talking to them about what we wanted to do, they were the main people that were involved in that
Awesome.
conversation because, like, we wanted to make sure that we're able to continue printing our bills here and that it can do through as a fast process. So, but yeah,
I'd say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
so.
Agreed.
I do like the idea that there's no price increase throughout the contract with Century Business Products.
So then,
Get a voice vote on
yeah, I'd just do a voice vote about who to move forward with, and then
I'll
I'll be
motion.
good with it.
Yeah, I'll motion for Century Business.
it? Motion's been made by Christie, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Trevor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Motion carries. All right. Discussion on city contribution to the Hawarden Economic Development Commercial. So do we have anybody that wants to?
I'll kind of read what the mayor gave me and give a little synopsis of what I know, and then I'll open it up to you guys on that. I was hoping to try and come down to this, but so what I know is that this whole process started a while ago. They were looking at advertising for that, and so they had discussed it, but then I guess the communication just didn't quite go all the way to the point of making a decision of how much money to support for this project. So this is what the mayor wrote. Following the historic regional flooding and subsequent rebuilding efforts, Hawarden is experiencing a pivotal period of recovery. Our community recently secured $1 million in federal FEMA hazard mitigation funding to address flood-damaged properties, signaling a major step forward in stabilization. Concurrently, residents have strongly urged city leadership to prioritize citywide property cleanup and maintenance. To capitalize on the structural momentum, a professional promotional video campaign has been developed to reshape the regional narrative, proving that Hawarden is resilient, clean, and fully open for business.
I did attend today. I attended the development meeting. Found out a little more insight on it too. It was talked with, I think, Larry and Carol earlier, and just wasn't communicated back to us at that time. So when they asked, we didn't really have anything that we knew about it. So, but development meetings it was very informational. It was good to go to. I was glad I went today. They are also signed a contract for this commercial to be aired for a year, just so you guys know that. So it's not like this is a one-time deal, but this is all they're asking. They're actually contributing a lot more money to this ad than just today. So.
To kind of expand on that, the portion that they're asking for is the actual production of the commercial.
Right.
They're not asking for any money of the airing of the commercial. They've created a package with the TV station to air it. So this is just the portion of getting it created. It's a, so the commercial will be around forever. It's not like they're going to ask us again.
Right. Any other discussion on this?
Jacob, do we have the money in an account
available to support a project like this?
Actually, yes, we do. We have specifically an advertising budget for promoting economic development.
And this wouldn't put us over budget for the year on that or anything?
No.
Good question.
Can I get a motion to approve or?
I make a motion to pay 50% of the cost of the production for a total of $1845.75.
Is there a second?
Oh, second.
Seconded by Trevor. Roll call vote.
I think voice vote's fine.
Voice vote. Fine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Probably didn't even need to vote, to be honest, because it'll just be on the claims next meeting.
Okay. All right. Well, we got it covered either way. All right. Now we'll move on to 6, approval of the engineer designed agreement for the Hawarden Fire Training Center.
All right, so Payne has approached the city, and they have been working on this training site a little over a year now, I think. And they're trying to get some funding for it, some grant funding, because it's going to be obviously an expensive project, and it's going to be utilized by more than just our fire department in general. So getting these engineering plans is actually going to increase our chances of getting some funding for it, because then people can see that there's actually something to this project that we're asking for money for, not just asking people to give us money for an idea. So what this agreement is, it's buying those plans from the company that they are working with to potentially even do the work for us if we get the full funding for it. And that will give us the rights to these plans for this construction of their site. And at the same time, it will give us a $10,000 credit towards the construction if we get them to do it within the next 60 months. So if we can secure some funding within the next 60 months, then we'll be able to do that. If not, we still have the plans and we can work on it ourselves. I know that we have a lot of people that have different backgrounds in certain areas, and it'll give us the opportunity to kind of get some stuff moving. So that is that in a nutshell. Yeah.
All right.
The training facility is, yeah, like he said, we've been working on this for about a year now, maybe a little less. With the hopes that obviously we can train here, but we can invite other departments from all over to train. We can bring in bigger named instructors and get more interest in people coming here. These trainings usually last all weekend. Bring people staying in the hotels, bring people to use the restaurants and things like that. So it's not just for us; it's for everybody. So.
Have they identified a site for it yet?
Yep.
Where's that at?
So, yep. It's just to the southeast of the tractor pool.
Okay.
We have it all graded out. All the rock is out there already. There's still some final touches on that, but we just finished that up right when winter hit, so we kind of took a pause on that.
Yep. And the only other thing that I was going to talk about is I had Payne bring it up at their last meeting just to make sure, because this is a big chunk of money to spend if you're not going to get reimbursed for it. And
Right.
it sounded like it went through that they all want to do it. So
That coming out of the fire department budget, is it?
yeah, it'll come out of their capital equipment budget for now.
And that will, like you said, that will go towards the building of the actual structure as well, as long as we go through them. So.
As of this morning, they had $97,000 in that fund right now, so they have enough to cover for this. And hopefully, we can get some funding, and they may get some of this back if the grant's approved, or this may be their in-kind portion for it. Well, that's unknown right now, so.
What's the overall scope of the project as far as budget-wise? Do you know yet? Like anticipated?
148,000.
Okay. Is that a project that will have to go through the bid process through the city?
It would reach the limit, yes.
Okay. The only thing I'm concerned about is the future construction credit. It looks like is only available if you utilize their brand of structural components and stuff. not just their plans, but we have to use all their stuff.
So in comparison to them and other places we've looked into, it's a quarter of the price of a lot of the other people that would build it.
So we just have to make sure that we go through the bidding process, and then it'll probably be fine.
And it's a specialized build too, so there won't be, dozens of contractors, bidding it.
Oh, okay.
It'll be a specialized, maybe 2 or 3 different companies that can build this site, so.
Okay.
Any other questions? Can we have a potential vote on the matter, it says, or need a vote on it?
Yeah, I would vote to approve the agreement of this. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go with them, it just means we're going to pay them for the plans.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the bid for this, or the vote for this?
I'll make a motion to approve Iowa American Rescue as the plan creator for the fire department project.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Ben, seconded by Christie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carried. All right, we'll move on down to 7, Resolution 2026-23, approving the property acquisition administration plans.
This administrative plan covers all functions of administering the property acquisition grant. We applied for 3 grants because we split the properties into three different grants. So there's 3 plans, but they're identical. They're all 3 listed on the resolution by the grant number. Yeah, so you're just approving the administrative plan that we have to follow to administer the property acquisition grant, so.
Question?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026-23.
Motion was made by Ben. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Trevor to approve Resolution 2026-23. Roll call vote. Boza?
Aye.
Skelling?
Aye.
Waterman?
Aye.
Clucky? Aye. Warner?
Close.
Okay.
I knew I struggled on that, but I should have had it wrote down. I apologize.
That's okay.
All right. The motion passes 4-0. All right. All right. Let's see. Approval of road closures for Labor Day.
Yeah, so we have 4 road closures listed here. The 12th Street, which is by the city pool, would just be Saturday of Labor Day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., which gives them a little setup and a little bit of tear down there for the water fight. The B is the parade route from Central Avenue, on Central Avenue from 7th Street to 16th Street. That's on Monday, and that would just be starting about 1 p.m. for that. And then C, this is where we start getting a little bit different from last year for the vendor area. From 14th Street, from Central to Avenue F, which is the same area, but this is, instead of just doing it on that one day, they would like to do it from the 5th through the 7th, from Saturday through Monday. And then there's a second vendor area, which is right by the shelter house on 13th Street, right in front of that they would like potentially closed on Monday, September 7th, and that's kind of an overflow for vendor area as well. And then I believe that Julie is here to answer any questions you guys may have about that.
Any questions? No. All right. I think you're off the hook. All right. We get a motion to approve the street closures for Labor Day weekend?
Motion.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll motion to approve the road closures.
Motion was made by Trevor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Christie. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Discussion on vacating alley on 20th Street and Avenue D.
Okay, so for this particular item, we had a resident that's requested to purchase 2 alleys abutting their property that they're doing some work on 20th and D. In order to do that, we will need to have a survey to get the legal description of those alleys. So what I'm needing or requesting at here is so that he doesn't waste money, is to see if this is something that you guys would be interested in even moving forward with, and or if you guys are not wanting to move forward with potentially selling and vacating those alleys to this person.
I guess for me, is there any reason to keep that property for any reason? There?
There's
I'm not familiar with
no utilities. There's just a platted alley that's unused, hasn't been upgraded. There's no gravel. It's just platted ground.
Does this owner also own the property behind it and to the side of it?
I don't believe so.
So there's a different property owner?
Correct.
That could
On
possibly...
on both sides, the south side and the
Yeah.
west side.
Yep, they could want to purchase half if they,
Okay, that's what I was
Yep.
curious about.
And that is something that we could potentially look into too, and see if the other properties would like to try and purchase the other half of that, if that's what you guys are wanting to do. So that's just,
I think if we moved forward with that, I think that would be something I would want us to do is
at least
making,
contact.
sure.
Yeah, make
making
sure
sure
the
everybody
adjacent
gets
owners.
that fair shake on it.
but no issues with bringing it forward at all in general, because I'll move forward with doing the other stuff then.
I
So-
would like to just reiterate that if they need the property to do some improvements, I want to see those improvements actually done.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, that similar language that we put into our other
Yeah.
resolutions or property
Mhm.
disposals.
That's all I need.
All right, consent agenda, there is none. So can we have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion was made by Christie, seconded by Ben. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You got to sign mayor here, so the other can sign the other.
I get, oh, yeah.
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 All right, we're gonna need all three, I guess.